Okay, so let me see. Let me also pull up the chat. So in case someone would like to, well, I can't really. Okay, thanks so much, Marcella. Okay, perfect. So welcome to Mapstell. Mapstell is a new reality, really, because it's only been around for 6 years. And you know, human capital is the most important asset any company has. And I know some of you are already working in HR and recruitment. And, you know, human capital has always been very, very important, but unfortunately not every company is considering it the most important asset. So this is how personal assessments and so on come in to kind of find out if employers hire the right people for their jobs, and so on. So whatever field you work in, if you work with people, assessments are fantastic because this helps you learn how to communicate better with yourself and with others. You know, the more we know about ourselves, the more easily can we actually communicate with ourselves, label our emotions, find out about our emotions and where they're coming from, our actions and reactions, and we can also enter in empathy with other people. So now let's see. Why are there so many things lacking in companies? You know, if people do not actually have the right job, they're not in the right company, or maybe, you know, whatever happens, you know, there are a lot of reasons why employees may suffer from poor or low productivity. So let's run through this very quickly. So in a company, in any company, you know, what are the reasons? And here are some of the reasons why employees may suffer from low productivity levels in a workplace. So poor leadership, you know, they don't have a great leader, or poor time management. They can't really manage their time well. A toxic workplace culture, or little or no communication with the coworkers or with the boss, with the supervisor, or they don't have any conflict management skills, or people may be stressed and burned out. And what is the problem? Then it has a ripple effect, and it may actually affect everyone around you. And I'm not only talking in the business world, I'm also talking at home. Because if we work at home and everyone, this is like the new reality, everyone works from home right now. So the thing is, you know, if we are burned out, we're stressed, and we can't cope with that stress, because we don't really understand that we're so burned out and that we're stressed, and we can't label our emotions, we can't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of our beloved ones, and we're not productive anymore. We don't perform well anywhere anymore. And this is actually happening to a lot of people right now. And the companies, unfortunately, do not spend that much money right now, because they think there is no money into actually coaching their personnel to motivate them and so on. So then the lack of sense of belonging. Right now, you know, we're all at home, so that makes it very, very difficult to belong to anything anymore, because you can't meet anyone unless it is maybe online. Then lack of recognition. You know, oftentimes people do not feel valued, they feel undervalued. And oftentimes they're also damaged organizational structures. You know, we're talking about maybe family businesses for, you know, decades. The family businesses have been run, but maybe by people who have never learned to run a business. They just took over as a result of maybe their father retiring or whatever, and no team spirit. And this is also one of the main problems. So this is how, you know, assessments are helpful and come in. Also, perception matters. How many of you think that perception matters? Tell me, could you tell me how many of you think that perception matters? Could you actually give me a thumbs up, or maybe not? I can't find the chat anymore. I don't know where the chat went. Hold on one sec. I need to find the chat. So yes, you think that perception matters. So oftentimes we are in a conflict with people. Even sometimes we're in a conflict with ourselves without knowing where this conflict may come from, right? And what happens is, Oh, I think I found the chat. Hold on. Okay. Yes, here's the chat. Okay, I found the chat. So what happens is we look at the same thing from a different perspective. And sometimes one person sees a 4 and the other sees 3. And this happens way too often. Why is that? Because every single person is programmed differently because we grow up in different countries. I mean, look at us right now. We're from Pakistan, we're from Holland, we're from Turkey, we're from Russia, we're from the UK, we're from all over the place. And we have certainly grown up with different values and a different culture, with different religions. So of course we look at things differently, but yet we expect things to actually go our way, and we expect people to react or act in a certain way, the way we would act. Is that true or true? You think that's true? That we always expect people to act the way we think they should act? And what happens to us if people don't act or react the way we would expect them to? We get disappointed, we get sad, we get frustrated, and we want to jump at their throats sometimes, maybe. Okay, so we do not see people for who they are, but we see people for who we are. Do you agree with this? Yes or yes? Yes. Okay. Now, and this is how emotional intelligence comes in, right? You know, most of you, pretty much all of you know about emotional intelligence and what this is all about. So basically, you know, in companies, especially in larger enterprises, the EI, the emotional intelligence quotient, the EQ, also called EQ, is much, much more important than the IQ, the intelligence quotient. Why? Because if you work in a large enterprise, you work with a team. And it's obvious that if you work with a team, then you need to be intelligent and emotionally intelligent. You need to be able to work with a team and understand your teammates, and you need to be a team player. You know, so even in leadership, even leaders, every single leader needs to be emotionally intelligent to be able to guide his or her team accordingly. So it's the capability of individuals to recognize their own emotions and those of others, discern between different feelings and label them appropriately. Because if we understand our feelings, we label them. We say, oh, now I understand why I reacted that way, or why I acted that way. Then it's also easier for us to kind of slip into someone else's shoes and understand them. Now, what happens is if we talk about the emotional intelligence, you know, that is so important, and any assessment will help us with that. We perceive the emotions, we understand them, we then can use them to our advantage, and we can manage the emotions accordingly. And this helps us decrease stress, increases our well-being, it improves our decision-making, it increases our performance, and it increases our leadership ability. You know, and all these things, obviously, for a company are fundamental because human capital is important. So if we can decrease the stress and increase the well-being of people, of our staff in a company, then you think the boss would be happy? And the numbers will probably also go up. All right. So emotional intelligence, I'll just run you through this very quickly. You all know this already, I'm sure. So emotional intelligence, we have the self-awareness, the self-management, social awareness, and relationship management, basically. You know, the social awareness is basically the empathy and how we fit into the organizations after we've labeled and found out our emotions and we have connected or been able to connect with others. And then we have the relationship management, which is about influence. You know, do you coach or mentor people? Do you work with teams? And how do you manage conflict? And also, if you're an inspirational leader, basically. So why am I telling you all this? Now, there's a lot of assessments out there, right? A lot of those assessments that people use and companies. And I would like to run some of them by you. So some personality and behavior assessments are actually the California Psychological Inventory, the Caliper Profile, the Gallup Strengths Finder, the Minnesota Personality Inventory, the Myers-Briggs, which is one of the most well-known ones, and the 16 Personality Factor Questionnaire. And, you know, apart from these are the most important ones, we also have a number of others. One of the number of others is actually DISC. How many of you have heard of DISC? Can you tell me? How many of you have heard of DISC? Okay, Devia has heard of DISC. Okay, anyone else? Marcella has heard of DISC. Okay, thank you. And anyone else? Oh, we also have Helga. Hi, Helga. And hi. Okay, perfect. So DISC is another assessment. And I would like to tell you a little bit about DISC. And the history of DISC began before it was DISC with the 4 elements of fire, earth, air, and water by Carl Gustav Jung in 1921. That's how far back this goes. And then the DISC model of behavior was first proposed in 1928 by a gentleman named Moulton Marston, William Moulton Marston. I think this is written wrong. Anyway, a physiologist. No, it's a psychologist. I'm sorry. And then validated by Harvard University during his studies. Okay, so 1928. That's how far you know, this goes back. So Marston did something. He saw the personality styles as being both internal and innate, you know, but largely impacted by our external world. And that's exactly what we are. We're largely impacted by our external world, by, you know, as we just said, culture, religion, values, and so on. How did we get there? Through our parents, our friends, our teachers, you know, our government, social media, the media in general. And we're all so very much influenced. So let's see. What happened was, after DISC had been invented, let's say, Moulton Marston defined the 4 quadrants of personality as dominance, influence, steadiness, and compliance. And a few years later only, Walter Clark took the theory of Marston and developed the first DISC personality profile that is still in use today. Just imagine something that was invented in 1940, it is still in use today. It was, of course, you know, improved, it has been filed on, and so on. So Marston never made it become a registered trademark, which is why there are many companies selling DISC assessments. And why am I talking about DISC if we're really talking about Mapstell? We're getting there. So just to give you a quick idea of DISC, we have the dominant. These are very dominant people who love challenge. They're direct, decisive. They're doers. They're movers and shakers. They're domineering and demanding. Then we have the influential people who have yellow energy. And these are inspirational people, interactive. They're interesting. They're impulsive and irritating at the same time. Why is that? They love to be on stage. They're very creative people, basically. And they're both very active people, as you can see, dominant and influential. And the yellow people with yellow energy and people with green energy, they're very people focused. So the green energy people are steady, they're stable, supportive, sincere, but they're also sometimes slow and very sensitive. And then we have the blue colored energy people, and these are compliant. They're cautious, they're careful, conscientious, calculating, and condescending. These are the people who would probably be really, really good in jobs like engineers or scientists. They're very precise and they're very meticulous and detail oriented. So the red energy people and the blue energy people are rather task focused. They're focused more on tasks rather than on people. So what this means, the active also means extroverted, and the lower portion means reflective, means introverted people. Okay, they much rather take up things with themselves rather than with others. So here we go, Mapstell. Let's talk about Mapstell now. And why did I actually talk about DISC? Because Mapstell is based on DISC. DISC is a scientifically proven assessment, okay? And Mapstell is based on DISC and was founded about 6 years ago to give clients a new perspective. And we're getting there. I'll tell you why in a minute. So Mapstell was actually founded by Sebastian Rampa, a gentleman from Holland. He is the founder of Mapstell and of the World of Difference. That's what this magical map is called that I'm just about to show you. And he's also a cartographer, a disc profiler himself, and a visionary. So a cartographer. And that's how this happened, because Sebastian at some point said, I'm a disc profiler and I'm also a cartographer. Why do I not combine those two? And that's exactly what he did. So he combined the proven assessment, you know, the scientifically proven assessment DISC, and he made a map of it. So he combined both, which is fantastic. And this is how his vision came out, right? Because Mapstell is so very different from anything else that you've ever seen. So this is what he did. You know, you just saw those 4 quadrants, and the decisive is over here on the far right hand corner. You can see decisive. Then down below you have the yellow. The decisive would also be the dominant, right? The red. Then we have the influential on the right hand corner below. Then we have the stable people, the steady or stable people on the left hand corner below, okay, that would be the green energy. And then we have the conscientious people. As I just mentioned, they could be engineers or scientists, or they could also be accountants. They're very precise. So this is where the blue energy comes in. Perceptive, accurate, meticulous, and very punctual. So, all right. This will be, by the way, this will be a very short intro, and then we'll also have room for questions and answers. If you have any questions, you know, I would love to hear them. Okay, so this is what we have. This is what Sebastian did. He made those two overlap, basically. We have the map behind, and then we have decisive, influential, stable, and conscientious. And here you can see what Sebastian did. He actually called it task-oriented, people-oriented, and extrovert on the right-hand side, and introverted people. So, and this may seem to you as if we were putting people into drawers, right? How many of you are thinking that, you're putting us into drawers if you do that? Well, that's probably true at the beginning, but once people take the assessment, which is actually called SCAN in the Mapstell world, you will dive deep into your own personality, into your own behavior style, and how to communicate more efficiently with others, and how to understand yourself better, basically. So what Mapstell did, it actually divided each color into 4, basically, okay? So we have the pioneer, leader, go-getter, and adventure with the red energy, this decisive, dominant energy. Then we have the diplomat, the enthusiast, the mediator, and entertainer, those are the influential people. Then we have the stable, steady, green energy, and those are specialists, workers, helpers, and carers. These people, that's probably about 80% of the population. You know, people with green energy love routine. They do not really specifically like to step out of their comfort zone very often, and they love to socialize, and they're excellent listeners generally. Okay, and then we have the conscientious, and that's the analyst, tactician, the advisor, and the perfectionist. Conscientious. All right, so what Sebastian did was absolutely genius, and I fell in love with Mapstell the first minute I actually found out about it. You know, I didn't really introduce myself properly, I guess, to most of you. Some of you know me already. I'm not only a disc profiler, I'm also a Mapstell behavior profiler, and I'm also a coach. I've been a coach for 8 years. I'm also an entrepreneur. I actually have several companies. Some of them are in the field of tourism, which is not so positive right now, but it's a wonderful thing to actually have another extra leg to stand on, to be working with Mapstell. I also work as a professor at a business university, as a business school, and I also work for the World Food Program as an external contractor. So I do a lot of different things, and I help a lot of companies, especially now in times of crisis, to find out why their teams are not functioning properly. So obviously, you know, you can see already probably how Mapstell comes in and how we can find out what kind of staff members we have on board to figure out how to improve their performance as a team and as individuals. So look at this. Here we have the map. And this is a map these 4 people from Holland actually are walking on. It's called the World of Difference. We have different sizes, you know, the largest one is about 3 times 4 meters large. And this is what we go to the offices with, you know, once it's possible again, or else we also have this, and this would be a table map that we also use. So now let's see. I would like to show you something that I do online with my clients. And this is something, so we have the different circles. Can you see the different circles? And we also have triangles. The circles are of the ladies in the team. You know, this is actually a team of ladies, and now the map is in German. I apologize. And the gentlemen are the triangles. I actually put them here with the first letter of their names. And this is what I do with teams. When I have a team and I analyze the team, and we actually do team coaching, for instance, you know, you can also coach a soccer team, or you can take a tennis team, or you can take whatever team. You can take a school class, because Mapstell also has something very interesting. They just came up with, you know, they just inaugurated the Mapstell for teens, for teenagers and for youngsters. So now look at this. This is what I do. So I have this little map, the World of Difference, and I place the people on top of it. Okay, and this is what one can do online right now with, you know, I have all my little figurines here. Okay, and this is how we move about. So someone steps on the map, and then you, this is your starting point, basically, where those people are positioned. You know, we have the blues, we have the yellow energy, and the red energy. You know, if you have a lot of red energy in the room, then this may come to clashes sometimes, because a lot of dominance in the room is probably a little dominance too much sometimes. So this is something that could be done. And how could this team work and communicate better together? That's actually the thing that we're talking about. Now, Mapstell does not only analyze how people are when they perform at work, but also how they perform under stress. So when people perform under stress, look what happens. You know, some people actually become different. They become different people. They change personality, and more importantly, they change behavior as well. Okay, so here we go. This is how people change under stress. Okay, so in this team particularly. All right, so now let's just briefly look at each single one of those, and this is the decisive. If you notice, the decisive actually has a lot of darker areas, and that means that it has a lot of mountains, right? Because people with red energy, dominant people that love challenge, they love to climb to the mountaintop and they love to actually take risks, and they're very productive, and they love challenge. So obviously they love to overcome obstacles and so on. So that's why here in this quadrant, you definitely have a lot more mountains. And what you can see right here, you can see the islands, you know, can you see the islands like on the edge? And those are the towns. This is how other people see you looking over, you know, across the pond, basically. So that's the decisive. Then we have the blue energy, that's the conscientious. And here the main 4 towns would be meticulous, accurate, punctual, and perceptive. Okay. And then once again, the islands and the land across the water is how other people see you. Then we have the influential, that's the yellow energy. Here we have imposing, conviction, considerate, and expressive. Obviously, I'm running through this very quickly, but there's a lot more to be said about all those things, okay? So that's the yellow energy. These are the party birds. These are people who are very creative, who love to socialize, and they love to be on stage, and so on. All right. And then we have the stable part. And these are very orderly, inquisitive. They're very dedicated and supportive of others. That's the green energy that we have right here. Now, once someone actually decides that it's time for their team, or it's actually time for their family, even for a family that works very well, by the way, to take a scan, an assessment, then what you do, you actually get your scan, you fill it in, you answer 25 questions quite rapidly in order to get through it and not think too much. Because if you think too much, you're likely not to give the right answer. Actually, if you think too much, then you're likely to give an answer that is how you would like to be, but not how you are really, okay? So that's how this works. And then you receive a little video strip, just a couple of minutes, and ta-da, you will be getting your personal map. So you will be getting your personal map, and it talks about your behavioral style, talks about what's important, and it also talks about how others see you, okay? And what your challenges are, for instance. And then we generally work together with a coach, with one of the guides, and that's exactly why we're all here, because Mapstell is accrediting new Mapstell guides, or also behavioral profilers for Mapstell at the end of April. And it's just a magical tool, because if you work on your personal map then with your coach, then the coach can actually help you individually, or also the entire team, or the entire company, or the entire maybe basketball team or soccer team, to grow together and to communicate much better. So as I mentioned before, there are different styles. So we actually have the active style, and I'm not going to get into this, but you do see the different percentages, okay? And this changes from how people see you, to how you function under stress, to how you are when you're relaxed at home without any makeup on. Okay? All right. So that's the active style, the instinctive style. It all changes. You can see the percentages. At least 2 are generally over 50%. And this is an overview, and you can see that it overlaps. Can you see that? So let me show you something. Everyone has 3 styles, and the active style that I just showed you shows how others see you and the impression you would like to make. When you work in front of your boss and in front of your coworkers or in a team, this is how you would actually like to be seen by others as well. Then we have the instinctive style, which shows how you naturally respond to unexpected situations, or when you're under stress, under pressure. And then we have the reactive style that shows how you react in a familiar environment. So Mapstell also analyzes the areas of tension, okay? And this is the active style and the instinctive style that overlap, basically. shows the differences between the way you like to be and the way you function under stress. Okay, and there can be differences, of course, that can be resolved by asking the right questions. So as a profiler, what I do, I ask the right questions to give the people I'm asking them to the right answers, but they give the answers themselves, you know, because they find out, oh my goodness, this is what happened. Why did you actually act or react in a certain way? And this is actually how people find the answers themselves by us, the coaches, asking the right questions. So why is Mapstell different from other assessment methods? First of all, it's a genius tool. Why? Because it's so different. It's just innovative. It's just very colorful. It's very inspiring and inspirational. And most assessments, you just get a written report. That's about it. So Mapstell analyzes behavior, not personality. Of course, we also look at the personality, but it's more about your behavior. Why do you act and react in a certain way? And how to read others. You know, some of you are actually also in tourism, and just imagine how magical it would be to stand in front of a client and know exactly, oh, this person has dominant red energy. You can see the flashing lights, and you know that this person will probably not want a lot of detail on your tour. You know, or I have a client who's an architect, for instance. You know, I'm now analyzing his entire team. Why? Because it's so important for him to understand how the other architects in his team function. So, or teachers at school. It's a magical tool to understand and also give the kids an insight into their emotions, into how to read their emotions, how to understand why they act or react in certain ways and where that comes from. So it can be used in a whole bunch of different ways. So clients do a scan, not an assessment or a test. Why don't we not do tests? Or why don't we call it a test? Very simple, because, you know, a test always intimidates people and they think, oh my goodness, is there right or wrong? Am I making mistakes? No, no mistakes. Everyone is just the way they are, and it's beautiful the way it is, right? Of course, there are areas of improvement, and that's what we're going to be working on. So then we actually have Mapstell. It's an innovative, intuitive tool, you know, and they're always a step ahead, and you will learn why in just a minute. Mapstell is very colorful, as you've noticed, and we use very colorful figurines and flags and whatnot, and it's very creative and also fun. A short video talks about the results of the scan. So once you've taken the scan, the so-called scan or assessment, you will receive a video in the mail. And then you will also receive your personal map in addition to a 24-page written report based on the scientifically proven DISC method. Okay? And online trainings are made easy, because with other assessments, it's kind of hard because you have to read through the assessment and so on and then talk about it. While here we have our client talk about their own map and where they're coming from and where they would like to go, which cities inspire them, and which cities they much rather avoid traveling to. Okay? So, Mapstell around the globe. We have Mapstell already in only 6 years in India and in Pakistan, not yet, by the way. Of course, there are over 400 Mapstell guides already in Holland. Of course, that's the main language because that's what it was founded in. So we have also Mapstell also translated into English, of course. It's in Dutch. It's also in Spanish, and it's also in German. I'm sorry, I didn't even put this. I'm German and I forgot to write that it's also in German. It exists in German, Spanish, Dutch, and English, and soon to be in Italian and in French as well. It's work in progress. The first, copy should actually be coming out now towards the first days, right after Easter, most probably. Okay. So How can you integrate Mapstell in your work today? If you're a human resource manager or a recruiter, a coach, or someone who works with people as a teacher or maybe even a guide already, then you can use it in a whole lot of different ways. So recruitment is being made easy because before you meet the people that you're interviewing, you already kind of know who they are by having read their scan, right? Then you can also, by the way, as recruiters, have the people you're interviewing explain the map themselves. And that's very, very insightful. Or you may use Mapstell in combination with other trainings. That's what I do. So I use it in combination with executive and leadership trainings, team coaching, sales and negotiations, very helpful, effective communication, brilliant, conflict resolution, time management, public speaking, and many others. As I mentioned, you can actually, if you become a Mapstell guide, then you can also train, coach different teams, sports teams and so on. And you can also take it into the schools, the universities and so on, because it's just so versatile. Now, here, once again, training capacity with Mapstell, it's endless. So effective communication, conflict resolution and problem solving, sales and negotiations. I just put it all together. Even, I know that Helga, for instance, talks about health. She's a health coach. And this could also be very, very useful because we're also talking about emotional intelligence for mindful leaders. We're talking about team coaching, time management, and public speaking, for instance. Now, Mapstell has just recently, only 3 days ago, come up with 3 novelties. And that is Mapstell for kids and teens, for youngsters, ages 10 to 17. So they created an entire program that has very, very simple, easy language, okay? It's a simplified scan and map also, and reading outcome for kids and teens. So behavior management should be taught in all schools. Yeah, how many of you agree to that? It's so important, no? To know about, our emotions and our actions and reactions at a young age. Then we also have the compass, which is a real compass. It's like a disc, basically, that is in addition to the scans that will help the guides, the Mapstell guides and coaches tremendously to improve their performance because, you can see all the different colors and so on, and the different energies on this one compass. And then we also have something else, and that is the good atmosphere. And that is to help the Mapstell guides and profilers create a better workplace culture within the companies using the innovative and additional Mapstell tools. So these are just 3 things that came out only 3 days ago. Now, do you have any questions right now? Do you have any questions for me right now? Please open your mic if you have any questions so far. Anyone has any questions? No? No questions so far. Okay, I can't really see the chat. Okay, I will figure this out. So then if there are no questions, then let me tell you about the accreditation. It's most probably going to be at the end of April, and it's going to be around the 21st or 22nd, okay? And generally, on-site training accreditations cost 1,970 euros. Right now, we're not able to do that. So we do online accreditations, okay? And it's the same outcome, basically. You get the same tools and so on. You get the same knowledge. You will have the same knowledge as anyone who would actually do an on-site training. So we actually have it for only 490 euros. Only 490 euros. This entails 3 half days of being with Pascal and I, and then this is what you get. You get a dashboard training, an entire dashboard training. You get a flying start. We'll guide you to make a flying start into the Mapstell world, the world of difference. Then you have access to an e-learning where you actually take another scan just to understand if you have understood all the different tools, if you have questions, and so on. There's a guide academy. So we facilitate a program for professional development, which is, also access to the network. That's also part of it. In the Guide Academy, of course, you get also access to all the new tools that are available. Okay. And there's a network. So there's 2 World Days per year. One of them was just 3 days ago, and there were 100 and I think 10 people from around the world participating, and we were all put into different breakout rooms. It was beautiful. And then we have a world of understanding. That's what you get as well. Together we work on a world of understanding. So we are now building a whole new network in Italy and in Europe. So there are about 500-600 guides altogether in the world right now. And we're becoming more and more day by day, because it's a beautiful community. We help each other out as well. And if you have any questions, there's always someone to answer. Okay. So what other additional fees may there be when you get started working with Mapstell? And only if you do get started, okay, not otherwise. So obviously a win-win for you, that would be, we have the scans that if you start working with the scans, they go anywhere from 15 to 60 euros a scan. What does that mean? That means that 15 euros for students that you could sell for up to 25 euros or dollars, basically. It depends on the country you're in. Then you can purchase them for 60 euros per scan, okay? And you could resell them for up to 90 to 120, which is a big gain for you, okay? Obviously, if we're talking about Pakistan, you have a different currency and the price would most probably be much lower. Why? Because, it also depends on the buying power of the people in the country, okay? So then there's a one-time payment of 500 euros a year for the dashboard, because you can use the dashboard, you can get the training, you have access to all the personnel, and only once you start working with Mapstell, not before. You're not going to be asked. And you know what? The first training you do, you make about 1,000 to 2,000 euros anyway. So you have that back in after just one training, basically. Okay. And then you have maps of all kinds and sizes to order on the dashboard to keep them for yourself, or also sometimes to sell them to the clients, because there are companies who order those large maps because they want their clients to always, to their staff members to always have access to them. Okay. So that's basically what there is. Now, let me see. So just to go through this real quick again, so you understand what this is all about. The 4 quadrants, we have result-oriented, direct, people, thinks and decides, fast, competitive, persistent, problem solver, adventurous. And then we also have the blue energy. That's they think of quality, meticulous, realistic, creates order, analytical, rational, tactical. The yellow, optimistic, motivating, enthusiastic, networker, innovative, persuasive, and visionary. And the green, harmony, reliable, sound, careful, patient, norms and values, listener, and dedication. Now, I have a question for you. How many of you are thinking, where would I be? How many of you are thinking, where would I be? Can you tell me? Yes, can you tell me? I really don't know where the chat went.
I'm yellow, Katja.
You're yellow, are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Sono Burju, yes.
Okay, thank you for sharing. You're yellow, so you already detected where you're at. But probably not specifically. Okay, so I
I'm
want
green.
you, everyone that's here, you know, who has not just taken the scan yet, I would like to give you, if you're interested in Mapstell and in the opportunity, the chance to take your own scan and see what comes out and see how this works. So you get the video, you actually get your own map, and you find out how this works. Okay, so this just, I would just like to run you through this real quick, because this is how we function when on a not so good day. Okay, on a not so good day, people with green energy show very little initiative generally, are quite reserved. They're very dependent on the team and on others. They become rigid and bland and almost quite too accommodating. Ooh, someone who's very dominant becomes or may become very pushy, controlling, intolerant, disregards risk, they just go for it, and they may become aggressive at times. Someone with blue energy may become niggling, indecisive, too many unnecessary details, standoffish, know-it-all, know-it-alls. We don't like know-it-alls, do we? So that's on a bad day, and almost too careful. And we also have the yellow, and that's when people, you know, on a bad day, yellow energy people become very chaotic, overly dramatic, talkative. They just take up space. They don't allow for anyone else to actually have room to talk, and impulsive, and they change moods. They have mood swings. So this is kind of like what there is. And I hope you enjoyed the journey. So let me see. I would like to open this for questions, please. If anyone would like to, I just need to get out of this real quick. I'll stop sharing here. Oh, now I can see the chat again. Okay. So now let me tell you, this was it. This was actually, well, it was longer than expected, than anticipated, but I would like to ask you if you have any questions. If you found this interesting, if you think this is a tool that could be useful in your world, and also if you would like to possibly take the scan. Would anyone like to speak to us?
Hi, Kat, it's Debbie here.
Hi.
Hello. Yeah, I thought it was really useful. I do know DISC, so I think it's quite good for people who like seeing things visually, and I do. So that really has helped me to picture it, you know, with all the colours. My question to you is I know that at the moment everything is online, whereas the tools and the props that you've got are obviously, you know, the map and the figurines. Is there a way, if you are doing team coaching, say it's online, that you can have the map interactive and then place people on there, or not? Or is that something in development?
Yeah, this could probably be done. There's also a virtual reality, you know, where you can move the map around and everyone sees it. So this is also quite interesting. I did not even mention that. Thank you for saying this, Deb. So it could probably be made interactive. Yeah, absolutely. You know, while your camera, if you have two screens, for instance, and you know, you may have two cameras, you could also do it that way. This is how I did it with Pascal the other day. So we actually, and then people were moving on the map. Where would you like to go? Everyone has their own map, and they're with the finger on their own map, and they say, okay, this is where I would like to go. So yes, absolutely, can be done.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope this helped. Okay, thank you so much, Deb. Anyone else has questions? Maybe Ran or Bursu or Paul or hello, Simeon.
Yeah, sorry, very interesting. Where I'm from Nigeria, Africa to be precise.
Oh, Nigeria. Oh, well, welcome.
But right now I'm not in Nigeria, I'm in Europe now. So I just saw the link on LinkedIn, so I decided to join.
That's great.
It's an interesting so far.
So
I've
can I
heard
ask, do you already work in like the coaching world or recruitment, or what is your job right now?
Okay, right now I am not into coaching, but I'm taking the course like online, and yeah, so I just saw some details,
Okay.
relating to life coach and something like that. So I thought, okay, this might be interesting. So I decided to
I
join.
think so. You know, I'm
Yeah,
working together with
definitely.
Pascal, and he has a project in Africa and also Nigeria, by the
Oh,
way. So this could be very, very interesting. Okay.
that's cool.
Bye, Miriam.
Cool.
Bye, Borsu.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, this could be very, very interesting in the future. You know, keep in touch, and then let me know. Send me an email or something, so I'll put you in touch with Pascal. Okay.
No problem. No
Okay.
problem at
Thank
all.
you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh,
I appreciate it.
Helga.
Hector?
Yes. Who's talking? Oh, Zainab. Yes.
Zainab.
Zainab.
Yes.
I do not
Yes.
pronounce your name well. Yes. Tell me. Do you have a question?
That's not, yes, I have a question. As I mentioned earlier at the start, when I joined that I'm a student and I'm working as an intern in a multinational company, but still I'm an intern in the recruitment and selection. So if I would like to take the test on my own, keeping in mind that, you know, as you have mentioned earlier, that the prices in Pakistan would differ because of the currency and everything. So what will be the process for me if I would like to take this test on my own and like to have a personal map?
Yes, you can. We can actually, you know what we'll do tomorrow, everyone who signed up, what we'll do, we will send you the recording. So you actually have the recording. Okay. And then we can also send you a link to the scan. Okay.
And I'm so sorry, there was some internet problem. I couldn't hear like what happened after.
I'm telling you
the
tomorrow,
scan
if you let us your email address, Zainab, we will send you an email.
Yes.
Okay, with a scan, with a free scan.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
And
Anyone else?
also one more question. I'm sorry, I'm prolonging it. It's like if I like to work with you, because I find it very interesting.
Okay.
This whole
Just
concept.
contact me and then we'll see how we could possibly.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Zainab. Okay, and thank you. Well, it's almost 10 o'clock. It's bedtime. All right. Does anyone else, maybe Valeria, does anyone, or Dr. Nadim, does anyone else have any questions? Or maybe Paul? Hello, Paul. Okay, no more questions. So I want to thank you very, very much. Whoever is interested in learning a bit more, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'm here to answer any questions. And tomorrow we'll send you the recording, and we'll also be sending whoever has not done a scan this free scan too. Okay, so thank you so much. And thanks for connecting. Thank you so much, Dev, Simeon, Borsu, Zainab, and Paul.
Thank you, Katya.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank
you, Anna.
Thank you.
Say, gracias, Sol. Sol, did you have a question? I can also put you in touch with the people in Spain who do this.
No, everything's okay.
Okay. So if you need any more information, Sol, yo estoy aquí. Hablo también el español, ¿vale?
Gracias.
Okay, muchas gracias. Okay, well, I would like to call it a day. Have a nice evening, everyone.